So this is the report from a lot of different sources right now. And listen, at the end of the day, I am all for this. You know, at the end of the day, I want Trey Henderickson on this team for the foreseeable future, 4 or 5 years. But I'm going to be as realistic as humanly possible. And I think that's very important to do in this situation. And we'll see. But the Bengals are fully prepared to negotiate a new deal. But they've been kind of in that window of we're fully ready, prepared to negotiate a new deal for like a couple months now. Like this is like, I know this is a new report because it's just being put out there again, but it's kind of a report that's been, you know, kind of this like endless back and forth of, hey, we're looking to do a new deal. And it's like, yeah, but clearly both sides are not budging. You know, obviously Trey wants a certain amount of money and the Bengals see him as, you know, worth a certain amount of money. So that's why I've said I don't think a deal will get done. But if it does get done, I'll be very happy, right? That would be awesome. Now, the second part of this is, and it's not just Dov, by the way, who's tweeting this out, because Dov's a joke. There's other reporters who also are tweeting this out as well. But a trade is off the table for Hendrickson. So now they're not even willing to trade him. Now, of course, that also comes off the heels of, hey, we tried and nobody wanted to give up what we wanted. So it's like, it's kind of the mentality of you go out there, right? And you're like, hey, I want to trade this guy. Yeah, I want to trade this guy. And nobody is willing to meet you with what you want. So now you're like, okay, you know what? We're not trading him. We want him on the team. It's like, yeah, you tried to get rid of him. You failed. So now you want him back on the team. Well, you wanted him on the team to begin with, but you tried to get rid of him. It failed. Now you're like, we're not trading him anymore because nobody will give you what you wanted. So yeah, I don't know. That's also a weird thing. It's like to say he's off the table now, I guess, but I don't think anyone was going to give you more than the first round pick, what the Bengals was wanting for him. The Colts wanted him badly, but they weren't going to give the Bengals what the Bengals wanted. So it wasn't going to happen. So yeah, I mean, again, I hope this gets done. I really do. You know, I hope that a new contract gets figured out. Obviously, it's going to be one of those situations where, you know, back in February, Joe Burrow did say he'll take less money, or not take less money. He would restructure his contract, but that was to keep Chase and T. And in the end, he didn't have to because we kept Chase and T without him needing to restructure. So we're now in this kind of gray area where it's like, well, is he going to restructure? Is he going to do something? I don't know if he will, because there's really no scenario where he needs to at this point. And with that being said, it's not like the situation with Trey is not that we don't have the salary cap, right? It's not that we can't afford to pay him. Is it realistic to pay someone who is 30 years old, who, again, age, he's on the decline when it comes to age, because that's just how life works. But he only plays 60% of the snaps. He's not really great in run support. He's a great pass rusher, but he's not really a run support guy. He's still very, very important to this team and this defense. But are you going to pay him Mad Max Crosby money of $35 million? And based on reports so far, he wants well above 30. So you got to look at this realistic. Even if you had all the salary cap in the world, it doesn't mean you're just going to waste money with this. So, and especially the Bengals, they're not known for just wasting money on players. Yeah, so it's a weird scenario. It's a weird scenario across the board. I don't think that this deal will get done anytime soon. If it does get done, I still see it as maybe this is a way for the Bengals to kind of save face and say, hey, get this report out there, say that we're willing to work with him, and if it doesn't work out, then we can kind of point the blame toward him. That's the only way I could see this scenario going, because again, he has 1 year, $18 million left in his contract. Okay, that $18 million for Trey Hendrickson is a great deal. Next year, we could franchise tag him for $26 million. We could franchise tag him again the year after that for $40 million. Like, there is a scenario where the Bengals really do not need to make a move. You know, like, we don't have to trade him. He's not sitting out. Clearly, he's made that clear. He's not going to sit out, even though ESPN for some reason thinks he will. He's already made it clear he's not sitting out. So now you kind of go off the situation. Okay, well, we don't have to worry about him sitting out. He's not going to be a problem. And you just kind of look at what's the cheapest path forward, and that's the cheapest path forward. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, you know, we want to keep Trey happy. We do. But we also need Trey to work with us. You know, we need him to take a arguably good deal and work out that contract. Now, you could always, you know, do a 4-year contract, push the money in the back end of it, you know, kick the can down the road. But again, like I said, it's a scenario where I just don't think we're going to see any time soon this get figured out. And yeah, I know it's a weird scenario because it's not a scenario like Chase or T. And neither of those guys sat out, don't get me wrong. But obviously Chase, drama last offseason, you know, not in training camp and preseason. Beside the point, he wouldn't play preseason anyway because Zach Taylor. But my point is, like, it's not like those guys would have sat out either, but it's not like it's a really big drama thing. Like, with all this stuff this offseason, talking about Trey Henderickson's contract, right? Yes, we talk about, oh, yeah, the Bengals are trying to trade him. Trey Hendrickson wants a new deal, whatever. But it isn't really drama, I feel like. There's no cryptic tweets by Trey Hendrickson. There's no tidbits being thrown out here and there about this negotiation deal. You know, this is a very, very civil deal. Both sides have been quiet about it. Both sides have been very thankful. Every time you hear Trey talk about this situation, he says he appreciates the Bengals. He appreciates them giving him the opportunity to go out and look elsewhere. But he wants to stay in Cincinnati. He loves in Cincinnati. He's been very, very pro-Cincinnati. And on the other side, you hear the Bengals talk about it. It's always Trey's the best. Trey's amazing. We want Trey. You know, he's very important to us. Like, it has been the most civil offseason drama along with this whole Trey Hendrickson situation. It's been very civil, which I appreciate greatly, especially after the whole Chase and T situation. And again, that the back and forth cryptic tweets was like what really killed me when it comes to that situation. But anyway, Trey's been a doll face when it comes to this, man. And I appreciate that because, man, the stress it causes to wait for your players to get signed is crazy. But again, listen, if this happens, I'll be happy. I mean, if this happens, I'll be ecstatic. But I just don't see it happening because, again, based on what I understand right now, the Bengals have a number. They're saying, Trey, you're worth X, okay? That's how much you're worth. And the problem is all these other guys now are getting paid. Donnell Hunter, Mad Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, you know. And it's just going to keep happening. You know, we're going to see Michael Parsons get paid as well. And the problem is every time that happens, Trey's going to say, hey, now I want X. And the only way you're going to get this done is both numbers have to somewhat be okay and near each other. And if one number is 23 million and the other number is 35 million, well, you're not going to get there. So I'm sure the Bengals are willing to negotiate a new deal because they want him for 4 years, but they want him for the correct price tag. So we'll see. We'll see.